I'm going to discuss real quick some stuff that's going on here. What's happening is the sky is extremely active, and I'm just seeing a whole bunch of stuff going down in the sky when I'm in the bathroom, when I'm looking out the window here. Uh, a whole bunch of fucking shit keeps happening. Something that happened in the bathroom, I was just looking directly at the sky. Out of nowhere, I guarantee you there was nothing there. Out of nowhere, a thing flashed into me being able to see it, started moving and moving around a lot. Like, I don't know if these things are excited, I don't know necessarily what they're saying, but it feels like, sometimes it feels like when I see these beings, it's like they're trying to tell me, maybe they're not even communicating with me, but I just take certain things as a sign from beings, a sign from the universe that there's still things to be discussing. There's still things to share about, and they're going things that I think are, even though there is a ceasefire in Palestine, I would say things have not calmed as far as the planet goes. We got that big ass fire in LA. We got multiple fires that are sparking up from that fire. Dry weather out here. Who knows what that's going to mean for the summer. And just craziness. Mexico sent in like something like 70 something firemen up to come and try and help with the fires. There's firemen from San Francisco helping with the fires. There's fucking the military's called in to try to battle the fires and make sure beings are during curfew. And evacuation also. Looting beings are looting houses and potentially exacerbating the fire. I don't know. But a lot of stuff's going on. So something I did want to touch on. The two things I wanted to touch on are the whale blubber. I looked into whale stuff, which is why I might have to end the live and yeah, I might have to end the live and do it on another phone to get specifics, but I might just save that for another time. But I want to share what I found out about it. It says the whales were being harvested, so captured and hunted, and everything I pretty much shared is correct, that the whale oil was being used for lighting before there was, and this is what they're saying, I don't know, maybe they did have electricity, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but they're saying that the whale oil was being harvested for lighting, for candles, being used in candles. The oil is used in margarines. It was also being used in makeups. The bone for the whale was being used in corsets, being used in umbrellas. It was being used in, bone is stronger than metal. So these bone corsets, bone umbrellas, along with being used for construction, so structural purposes. There's some locations apparently that were built with maybe some spots on the structure out of whale bone, actual fucking bone. And it says that the meat was all being used for consumption, for energy purposes, for the body, human mammal body. Maybe they're dogs and pets, I don't know, but it says that it was being used for food. What they did was they would take the whale, put all the whale meat in salt, and sometimes they would hang it and let the wind blow on it, but it would dry out, and then they would have this salted like jerky, I guess, I don't know. And also what they did was they would take this salted whale meat and take it up to a location that is freezing or very low temperature and store it in those locations. But it was being used for food. It was heavily salted, just like beef jerky, and being hung out to dry and all that stuff. And the blubber was the same thing as the meat that was being canned. Some of the meat was being jarred up in these jars that were fully filled up with blubber, fully filled up with meat. And like I said, the blubber was being used for fire purposes, and also the oil was being used for fire purposes. And it said that the oil was being used back in the day by different militias in their ammunition, as opposed to like a gunpowder. They were just using this oil to be able to do the combustion part and send out cannonball, send out whatever, metal round out of a musket. So militias were using the oil for ammunition purposes, which could still be done today. The oil was also being used for lubrication, and the blubber was being used for lubrication of mechanical parts, moving parts, and different things. How can you have mechanical parts, by the way, if you don't have electricity? But I guess they had their coal and their steam engines and all that stuff, so it was being used to lube up that. And then ropes on ships, I guess, have to be lubed with this oil, the whale oil, so that the rope doesn't break down from the water. So all these different purposes is what the whale is being used for. And then I said, were whale carcasses used for fertilizer? Because I remember the natives taught the pilgrims, Columbus, the British, when they arrived, the natives taught them that dead fish carcasses, the leftover of the fish or whatever, can be put into the soil, and it's a fertilizer to grow corn and different crops. So I looked up, is whale carcasses used for fertilizer, and it says yes, whale carcasses have been harvested for fertilizer purposes. So you can take dead whales and put those out in the farm somewhere, and you're going to heavily fertilize the ground. So that would be, in the future, if we have a dead whale on the beach, we're going to have to take a chainsaw to it or something like that, and saw that thing up and send it out to a location that's growing crops, because it's just free fertilizer sitting there. But it brings to mind, so we're enduring a situation here where fertilizer is scarce across the planet. Beings are hungry across the planet. Should whales, and then along with the factor of these migrating beings that are 330,000 pounds, are potentially causing hurricanes, which is mass fucking destruction and death of human mammal. Do we really want these things that are shitting out 330,000 pound meal diets, shitting in our fucking oceans, warming them up, when the blubber is all right there, ready to be used for various purposes that are natural purposes? Like, instead of putting plant matter oil on these ship ropes, we could be getting back to using whale oil and harvest them or hunt them in a way that is beneficial to human mammals' continued survival, but also make sure we don't extinct the whale species. We don't want them going extinct, but we don't want them destroying the planet intentionally or unintentionally either. So I believe that whale fishing, whale hunting should be allowed again, and we're doing a big disservice to the human mammal species, allowing beings to starve, allowing beings to use these chemicals that aren't necessary when something natural, which is whale blubber, could be used to be starting up fires, could be used in ammunition. We wouldn't need any gunpowder. It could be whale oil, apparently. And but that was a pretty big discovery to find out that whale oil is used in ammunition and different mechanical parts and all this stuff to keep them lubed up. Finding that out was pretty big, because we want to know, how do we launch out cannonball without gunpowder? And now we know. So I was thinking moonshine, maybe moonshine and whale oil, but sounds like they were for sure using whale oil, so that is an option. And then as far as food goes, beings are hungry, human mammals hungry, dogs are hungry, cats are hungry. Our species is enduring hunger. In countries, when it comes to survival, you're not going to go, well, let me keep this whale alive that I'm never going to fucking see, or feed my fucking family, feed my fucking friends, feed my neighborhood, my country down the line. So that's pretty much where I'm at on this. Is I'd rather feed Country Boundary Line and continue survival as opposed to um, not ever seeing some fucking mammal, some being swimming around in the ocean, something that can swallow me whole. I'd rather it be a limited existence. And then, so the other thing I wanted to touch on was Moscow has a location where there's like these colorful buildings. This colorful building, the roof is all colored. And I'm noticing in a music video from like not too long ago, but the music video is called Call Them Brothers by, who is it by? I think Rilo Kiley or something like that. Well, in the video it's black and white, and I think they just have it set that way. But I'm not seeing crosses on the top of the Moscow structure. On each of the things, there's crosses. These Roman Catholic Roman Empire death weapons. And in the video, I'm not seeing it, but they could be at the angle where, because the death weapons are flat, so they could be at an angle where it just looks like a pole, but I'm looking at the video and it looks like it's just a straight up pole on the top of the thing. So I'm wondering, and I would have to ask someone who's honest, has there always been Catholic Roman Empire death weapons on top of this artwork structure? Or was it added in later, maybe after the Soviet Union? How long has this structure been around for? And I need to ask someone who's actually, knowledgeable, been there, whatever, lives there, because I don't really trust the internet as far as some of the stuff I'm being told or pictures I'm being shown. So, I would like to know that, because I'm thinking what the artwork is saying is, and this is just my theory, I'm very into art though, ideologically, you are trans. I think that's what the being that made the structure, whether it's called this or that structure, a cathedral, I believe the beings or whoever was involved with assembling the structure, it's all colorful. You don't see any other structure like that on the planet. Why is it all colorful? Well, and this is not the only time where we've had cross-dressing, hermaphrodite, trans, whatever you want to call the different beings, gay, lesbian, happy, whatever, queer. This is not the only time frame where we've had these things. People have always dressed in various forms, and I believe that there has been the word trans has been around for a while, and I don't think it just means with digestive tract. And I think that structure is saying, calling out, like calling to the world, you guys are all trans ideologically, like making fun of the world, making fun of the time, maybe not making fun of it, but just, I don't really know how, because this is just a recent realization and discovery, so I don't know exactly how to word everything. I just realized this on like January 2nd, so it's going to take me some time to think about it, but I know that they do have humor out there. I know that there is smart-ass fam out there. I know that they're also very serious, and so a lot can be said with just one fucking structure, and just one thing on the structure could be also like adding to the art. So I just want to know that, and I'd have to ask someone from there. And either way, whether it's called cathedral, whether it's always had the death weapons located on the top of the towers, I do believe that these artists, whoever built it, could have been still conveying that message, even though it is this structure. Like, sometimes you got to do something and everyone would be against it if you tell them exactly what the fuck you're doing. You just got to do it and then let them see it later. And then everyone loves the structure in all these different ways. Maybe with some time, everyone will realize what the artist was saying. And buildings can be art. So I think that's proof of that. I do also think that the artist, whoever made the structure, is saying, look how brainwashed everybody is. This is the only structure on the planet that's colorful. Everyone knows of it because it's colorful. Literally every fucking building on the fucking planet is all one color pretty much. You got steel, like a bluish kind of steel color, glass, a lot of it's just glass colors. Some of it's stone and the stone is unpainted. They got lights now, so that's a little bit cool. But as far as the paint goes, all the structures across the whole fucking planet, no one has these flamboyant colors. It's like everyone's on the same fucking brainwash across the entire fucking planet. Everyone's just brainwashed into being bland, living this bland life, this bland existence, when existence could be more fun, could be more inclusive. I don't know. So what I do know about the structure is it is saying something. What I don't know to a conclusive point yet is what are they saying in its fullest. And I could be entirely wrong too. It's my guess. I don't know. I'm allowed to guess and I'm allowed to theorize. But I do think they're saying something, and it's got to be something big. You can just look at artworks and just go, okay, this thing looks special, and I'd say that building gives me that, just like the Statue of Liberty, just like the Mona Lisa, just like the Egyptian pyramids. You can look at it and go, wow, this thing's fucking special. There's something about it, and then you have to sit there and discover, why is this thing special? What to me about it looks special or feels special? And so, either way, it did provoke that realization. I was looking at the Moscow thing on either their Instagram or it might have been on X, but either way I saw it. Might have been on YouTube. I saw it and I had that realization, oh my God, I think it's saying that you're an ideological trans. It's making fun of people that are doing both the country boundary line book of law, while also doing some other country fucking boundary lines book of law. They're fucking enacting Bethlehem fucking book of law, when here it's called Russia. We have our own Russia book of law, and some ideological trans is trying to enact Bethlehem fucking book of law here in the Russian boundary lines. So, the other thing with cathedrals is a lot of times they're used to have like very secretive discussions, and you can't have secretive discussions in a location that's called secret discussion location. So you have to obscure the truth with labeling the structure church, or labeling the structure cathedral, mosque. What's actually happening and has happened throughout history is very, very top secret and very important discussions as a way, because remember, speech is not allowed across the whole fucking planet. This is to this day. So you go in these locations where beings think, oh, they're talking about beams, they're talking about peace, this and that. When really what's being talked about is Freemasonry, freedom, Revolutionary War, the next step into eliminating Nazism, saving the human mammal species, developing the USA Book of Law. So it's all secret. The only way to have secret discussions is to have no one know that the location you're having secret discussions is in fact having the secret discussions. You want them to think we're just having this normal fucking discussion that you'd really not want to be a part of, because we're going to talk your fucking ear off to boredom. So what they do, I think, when they have someone in there that's an invasion being, they do exactly that. They talk your fucking ear off to boredom, and they talk your ear off to boredom, and that's their way of letting everyone else know we got an invasion being listening in right now. We're getting spied on. When that invasion being, that spy is gone, you get back to talking about what you're actually there to be talking about, which is how to build structures out of stone. How do you make sure things are permanent? How do you make sure something that can be burned, this paper, the USA Book of Law, whatever, any constitution, how do you make sure that it's permanent when things can be burned? So, I think all that is being discussed. Artwork, different artwork and symbolism, all those things. What should the flag look like? What colors are we going to choose? What do the colors represent? What symbols are we going to use? What's everything going to mean? Everything. So it's all those discussions. What are we going to do about the food shortage? What are we going to do about the overpopulation? What are we going to do about depopulation? What are we going to do about... We're pretty much enduring this, we're just on YouTube here. Everyone probably thinks YouTubers are fucking, I don't know. They have all their fucking names probably for the YouTube fan, but here I am discussing, and I guarantee a lot of these beings are not going to know about the discussion, but you participating, you are knowing about the discussion, and you're a part of the fucking discussion. So, yeah, man, we get to fucking endure some fucking high-level thinking, some fucking topics that probably won't ever be brought up unless they're topics that weren't ever brought up, but everyone would love to be further educated on them. It's just too tense maybe in person, or it's too invaded. You can't have invasion beings fucking, disrupting the conversation. So, but yeah, it feels like it's a little bit of a secret zone on YouTube, like, a safe place to actually fucking speak. You can say any and all comments on here. You can say any and all comments on all my videos. I have everything. All comments are allowed. No words are banned. I'm not a fucking Nazi. And I am a leading force in ending Nazism. So, what was the other thing about whale? But yeah, so they do have these more natural forms of everything. It's more natural to be using whale oil as opposed to some chemical that I guess we're crossbreeding into existence. I would prefer to put something like whale oil on my face as opposed to something, some fucking red dye fucking 40 something. So, and if they are leading to the oceans warming, if they are over-consuming fish and other animals in the ocean, if they are shitting to the point of turning the whole fucking thing brown and just looking disgusting, then I would say it's time to, let's go ahead and move forward on this hunting and harvesting of something that is destroying the planet unintentionally. So, ideally, what I would say is let the thing live its life. Like, get the old whales and let the younger ones grow, live their life. But these old whales, before they get beached on the beach or before they die off just in the ocean and fucking sitting there dead, let's try to hunt this fucking thing, and we'll be able to feed the species. We'll be able to do things naturally, but I don't want to extinct the animal or the species, and I don't want to pretty much I don't want to extinct the species, and I don't want something else to take its place that's going to be more dangerous, the megalodon or something. So the whales only live to be so long, and this is for all of them. So you can find, okay, this whale is at its end of life pretty much, or it's heavily injured. Let's fucking get this whale out of here, and we'll move on to we'll move on to the other ones later on. But there's multiple species of whale: the sperm whale, the blue whale. Um, there's other smaller whales that might be dolphins, actually, not whales. Oh, the humpback whale. There's multiple species to go, okay, well, we can take, this one's very old, we don't want it to just die in the ocean and sit, nowhere, when it could be used as fertilizer, could be used as makeup oil, could be used for corsets and umbrellas and all that. So we'll have to keep studying whales and make sure we don't harvest or hunt too early, but if the being is fucking warm and it's causing all this shit, then you know what? We have to be about ourselves and about our planet. If the whale wants to survive, I mean, the hurricanes mix up the oceans too. Put all this debris in the ocean, so I'm sure that's deadly for the whales and the whale species and various other species. So all that has to be considered. I'm gonna have to go to her Patreon when it comes to because that show is so much fucking fun. Hunting the whales at the most opportune moments. Oh, whale skin. The whale skin is used for leather. The whale skin is used for like leather straps, leather belts, different forms of leather, and the whale skin can also be consumed as food. So they were eating whale skin. Just like my salmon, some of my salmon cans come with salmon skin, and it's good for collagen. Collagen is needed for the skin to stay, keep what's called elasticity. It's like stretch and bounce back to its original spot. That's all elasticity, and it's all collagen. Collagen is needed for healing purposes, healing wounds, and let me see. Maybe one day when we get I do believe the skin also has oil in it too, so it'd be healthy to keep your body lubricated, just like we're keeping the machines lubricated with this natural form of oil. Yeah, man. Switch doesn't anymore. What's up, Eddie? Welcome, Anthem. They could also be saying, shouting out death weapon. And then my thing about the death weapon is, it's wild that people are wearing death weapon. Death is always on people's mind, but they can't fucking look at human mammal body, your human mammal digestive tract, human mammal skin organ. They can't do that, but they can have this discussion with some fucking minor, some 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old about this being nailed to a Roman Catholic death weapon. That's the discussion you're having, but you can't fucking look at the digestive tract. It's just wild, dude. Like, the species is, I would use that all as evidence that the species is not currently peaceful and has not been peaceful. They've actually been the opposite, which is filled with murder, filled with death, constantly killing each other. Everyone's shouting, everyone's so comfortable with speaking about death. Everyone's so comfortable with speaking about murder, war, fires. People are dying in these fires. But you can't fucking look at fucking digestive tract. You know what I'm saying? Something that keeps a baby alive. This is how baby survives, digestive tract. This is how baby was brought to the planet, digestive tract. But it has to all be some fucking secret for these Bethlehem motherfuckers. You'll notice every single Jesus fucking Roman Catholic fucking nailed to the death weapon, it's always clothed. It has this spiked thing on its head, but it's always clothed right at digestive tract location. And why is that? Because they want you to think, well, we just get created into existence. From nothing to something, we get created into existence. And it's like, no, something had to move its hips back and forth for about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and fucking with another being, an equally and opposite digestive tract, still a part of the same species, and that's how we survive as a species. Is we move back and forth momentarily. This being then produces a live being 9 months later, and that's how we have all come into existence on this planet and in this existence. But we don't have that conversation. All we have is a conversation about death, a conversation about murder, a conversation about torture, a conversation about evil. There's not ever a conversation about, this is just digestive tract that we've all been gifted with. This is skin organ that we've all been gifted with, and we should all be proud of our bodies exactly how they look, because this is we're all artwork of beings, and we should all be proud of how we look, even though we might all look different. We are part of the same species, and we were all brought into existence the same exact way. A human mammal being moves back and forth with another fucking human mammal being, and now we're all alive. So I'd much rather have those discussions starting to get spread around as opposed to look at this being that was nailed to a Catholic Roman Empire death weapon. Look at this being that was nailed to death, tortured to death, starved to death, fucking, you know. And then the other thing that's just so fucking Munchausen, they always like to claim that they're peaceful, but they go, well, he could walk on water too. He could walk on water. Now, why would you come up with that fucking lie that this being can walk on water? I'll tell you why. Because Bethlehem doesn't want fucking retard to be around. Bethlehem wants to eliminate retard, and guess what? When you tell a retard that beings can walk on water, or a being could walk on water, retard wants to be just like the being. Retard thinks it's superhero, goes out, tries to walk on water, and now it's drowned to death. And teaching people how to swim is a newer thing. People didn't always have swim lessons or have the knowledge regarding swim lessons and how to share the knowledge obtained on how to float, how to tread water, how to swim on your back, your stomach, you know, all the different strokes. That's all shared information and learned information. So when you tell a fucking retard someone can walk on water, that's their what they would consider a peaceful way of eliminating fucking retard from the species. They can't do it the hard way, so they just tell them some fucking Munchausen story and let the being go run towards a lake. They think they can run to the other side of the lake, and now they're fucking drowning. So I don't appreciate the stories. I don't appreciate the lies. And I think we all should start being choosing the ideology of our country boundaries. Otherwise, we may not be enduring survival for much longer. Based on the death weapon, and who's on the death weapon, I would say you're probably not in the best odds of surviving it, especially since history does repeat itself. That's a known fact. History repeats itself, so here we are again, 2025 years later, still trying to find peace, still trying to live freedom.
DJ Hello, welcome in, cheers. Kaku with the 100 biddies, let's go. Thank you so much, having it bad was good. So much love to you back. Oh, what a foolish thing to have believed. Yeah, I'm just learning how much I've done it in my curtains. Closed on a Saturday morning when I should be letting it light.
of you out there wondering what do I consume for food, you can pretty much watch, it's called Trolling FaZe Banks. It's on FaZe Adapt's channel. The meal that Banks is all pissed off about, bread and burger, when he wants his chicken Alfredo, before these cross or whatever course noodle things, pretty much that was veal. And I don't know how long those have been around, but it was pretty expensive to be boiling up something just for one ding to be eating. So we were all pretty much just having bread and burger. And if you're wondering why we weren't having ketchup, mustard, relish, sometimes there was that when it was available. But most of the time it was just bread and burger and fucking, and now you're pretty much seeing why we're all fucking pissed off. Alright, we are all enduring. You can go ahead and watch that video and see his reaction to eating bread and burger as opposed to chicken Alfredo, and that's pretty much what the indigent are saying is, I'm done with fucking bread and burger, dude. I'm really fucking done with just bread and fucking burger. I want more to it, and I don't want just bread and burger. I want my fucking chicken Alfredo, dude. I want my chicken Alfredo, and I'm dead ass serious about it. March through it. You get to see a bunch of rich kids argue about something and fucking be troll to each other when they should have been fucking talking about something fun, doing something fun, and uniting as a team.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, it's probably a wake-up call for a lot of people out there. I'm not sure what they were going to put on their bread and burger, but that's just pretty much, you might as well call that dinner. That was lunch some days, but most of the days when we were, I'd be cooking up burgers and stuff, that would be, that was lunch and dinner. And most of the time if we did have something, it was just ketchup. Just ketchup. Sometimes we would have relish out of the jar, not out of the squeeze thing. And no mayonnaise, no mustard for me, because I didn't really like mustard at the time. But sometimes I did. The combination is good.
Nice amount of viewers. Oh my god, Coach, I'm gonna have to try.
I'm not a fan of pickles, but I would eat the pickle relish. Just because I was to that level fucking hungry.
I still need to change the radiator for the other one.
And we were fucking busting ass all the fucking time. I don't even want to say what we were busting ass on. But, it was just non-stop fucking working. Other than that, I would say we had chicken wings a lot. As far as meat goes, we had, and the beef was just low-grade fucking beef, 20% fucking fat beef. And the thing would come, you'd start the beef out, you know, imagine something 20% smaller because all the fat pretty much burns off. And then when you cook it, it wants to rise, so something that's out pretty flat ends up being pretty small on the end. But we were just getting that low-grade beef, 20% fat. That was apparently at the time low fat, I don't know. But other than that, we did chicken wings, and I'm really fucking dope at cooking up chicken wings on the barbecue, like the gas one. And we were just hitting fucking just straight up chicken wings some days. Some days we'd have it marinated a little bit, or some sauce to put on top, barbecue sauce. But most of the time it was just fucking, sometimes it would just be straight up fucking chicken. You just have that. And chicken's really healthy, but it can still be fattening. Depending on how you cook it with the skin and all that. What I wanted to say is one of the recent things that I've discovered. This was about last planetary orbit around the sun, maybe before that. You can boil your chicken in a pot of boiling water here, like in the house on the oven. And then you take that chicken and you either put it in the oven or you put it on the barbecue. And once the chicken fully cooks through, after you boil it, then the skin will stay with every single bite the skin stays on the meat, and you just get the perfect amount of skin with each bite. So you're not pulling off the whole chunk of fucking skin with one fucking bite, which is what happens when you cook it on a barbecue. If you cook it by boiling it first, and this is the healthiest way to cook chicken anyway. You can boil the chicken and keep all the fat and everything in your boiling water, and that's actually becomes chicken broth that you can use for soups and things, or noodles, and like a lubricant pretty much. And so then you're getting the full amount of chicken, and then when you put it in the oven, all your fats and stuff are all in your pot there, and same with the barbecue, you're not losing a whole bunch of your what you purchased, which I want everything. I even figured out that, because I saw someone do this in high school, you can eat the bones of the chicken and like suck on the bone for the bone marrow. Bone marrow is very like rare to come across, and so to let the bone go to waste just by letting them, it has a little bit of flavor to it, and if you're hungry enough, you can kind of like just taste some flavor to it. But I have chewed bone. You can chew it up. If you do chew some bone, then fucking chew the fuck out of it, because you don't want the splinter in your stomach. Just kind of chew it to dust. But when you do cook the chicken in that technique, the bone is really soft. Same with rotisserie chicken. And you can kind of do the same thing, like pipe this bone down to bone marrow, and kind of get the bone marrow out of it, and all the nutrients, whatever. So, sounds indigent, but when it comes to survival, I mean, where else are you going to get bone marrow other than, and what you can do is break those bones up, cook the bones in your chicken broth, and the bone marrow comes out of the bones into the chicken broth. Because the only other way to get bone marrow is with bone broth, and that will promote bone marrow growth in your body. But there's no other way to really get bone marrow other than your bone broth. So instead of doing that, you could just take all your bones that you've been throwing away, crack them in half. They should be soft enough to crack in half. And then and just cook those, or even just throw the whole fucking, all the bones and everything into that boiling pot of water, and let it all sit in there for a while, and just like do its thing. And you'll have very nutritious liquid to consume with, I would say, spaghetti noodles, regular spaghetti noodles, and or if you have soups and you don't want to add salt into it, but you want the oils and some flavor, then that's your, you cook it in the chicken broth. So there's another huge thing for everybody. We are in a food shortage, and the U.S. is not the only country in existence. The U.S. is not a globe. The U.S. is one country on the globe. So beings that are in other countries that are currently enduring starvation, we may want to consider harvesting and hunting for whale. Like I said, taking ones that are very old, reach the end of their lifetime, don't say anything about it. These people lose their fucking minds. These Nazis lose their fucking minds over some animal that they don't ever fucking see, or give a fuck about to go out and see. They just want to use their imagination like they're fucking ink on cotton and go, oh, well, there are blue whales out there, because the computer says there's like multiple hundreds of blue whales, so that must mean it's true. It's probably more like in the thousands with every species, but you gotta make it sound scarce, otherwise there's no way to make people not hunt it. So they gotta go, well, there's only 50 left. Turns out there's thousands, there's 50,000. There's 50. There's 50,000 blue whales. And the fact that they have these estimations, it's like, how are you coming up with this fucking estimation when this thing can probably hold its breath for miles and miles and dive down into water depths, and the whole ocean hasn't been explored, and it's just a low estimation is probably what you're getting. The lowest
So never mind
estimation
what happened
possible
yesterday.
with every species that they
All
want
your problems.
on this endangered
That's
list,
all gone.
which means endangered list. Now I'm gonna go through and
Not
have
even
to
worth
look.
Tonight
it.
that
Well,
we
what
have
could this
is
animal be
us.
used for? What could this animal be used for? What are the things that they're thieving from us by calling this species endangered when it's likely the opposite of abundance? So we're finding out one species is able to be gunpowder, whale. One species is able to be light, whale. One species is able to be energy for fire, whale. One species is able to be energy for
Tonight that we
human
have is
minimal body,
us.
the
I
whale.
think we're gonna
One
do
species
what
is
I've
able to
never
be
done
food
before. We're
and
gonna go right into
structural,
Jesu.
provide safety. Remember when umbrellas were made out of bone and not metal? 'Cause you know what lightning is attracted to? Attracted to metal.
Me?
So,
Welcome in, family. Back, how you doing?
corsets, I don't know if corsets are made with metal, but I would probably prefer, you know, a bone one if it's gonna come down to a lightning strike.
Doing good. My legs are getting a little
Or
tired.
during
though.
electrocution from their electrocution guns. Yeah, I'd rather have bone on my body.
Freaking new episode or new season of Severance tonight. Anybody watch
And you can say,
Severance
oh,
over
well,
here?
plastic. You already know what plastic
No, we
is
still
made
got
from
like
now.
half an hour. We
Petroleum-based.
still got time.
It's all petroleum-based plastic. So why do
Oh
plastic
my god, I'm not
when
going
you
anywhere
could
yet. I'm
do
just
whale?
saying. I think that's what I'm
And
gonna
if
go
the
right
whale's gonna fucking
Never
die
done it,
anyways,
but
or if it's
I feel like
fucking
it
up
could
the
be fun.
oceans,
you know, she can always use more people.
fucking shit in the fucking
Yeah, no,
ocean.
we're still here for another half an hour at least. I mean, we're feeling it for more.
So
than-
never mind
then
what
we can go
happened
for more.
yesterday.
330,000-pound
All
being
your
is currently
problems.
shitting in the ocean. And there's
That's all
thousands
gone.
of them, I believe. The other
The
ones,
only
the other
thing tonight that we
possibilities are
have is
40,000
us.
pound being shitting in the fucking ocean, man. So I would not drink it at all. I think those are all the things that the whale is used for, so I don't know if I have to do another live, but maybe on my next one I'll try to remember to do my small phone there, my iPhone 13, and I'll be able to look at the
Yeah, we still
exact
got at least half an hour.
everything or whatever.
Don't go anywhere yet.
So never mind what happened yesterday. All
I
your
have each
problems.
tab open on my internet still, so it's still open, and I might take pictures, but it feels like I can memorize what I saw. I already pretty much shared it, but when it gets down to the specifics, there's a little bit more usage and all this stuff, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just never done it, and I feel like if she's streaming, we might as well. But we'll see. I got another half an hour at least.
Let me go
so-
to another stream here, because I've been streaming her quite a while now. But her music does seem to be helping me think, so I like that. But I don't wanna just be playing her stream straight up. You know what I'm saying? So, let me play some other music. This is the song. Call Them Brothers, Regina Spektor, and Only Son. If you remember who they are. I'm gonna subscribe to Only Son over and over. Can't we find something else to pretend like normally So let's leave it all beyond the stream before anyone knows that we're gone. That's it, it's football. See, I'm not seeing the Bethlehem on top here. That's it, it's split. Can't recover, just frame the house and call them a hole and chip out the bricks and fill up your pockets with the pieces of the wall that you stole. The hunt is on, everyone's chasing, and remember that thing says they're trying to observe. They're here to observe because historical evidence has been lost. So when it says nuclear war, that might be it simply citing its historical evidence that's left over. But when it speaks the words nuclear war, like I said, it could be that bombs are contaminated in Nazi Ukraine at the moment. Those are being launched and they're contaminated with radiation. So that's therefore nuclear war. The burned down Chernobyl location. Along with the fact that nuclear energy is being used to power a lot of the war that's going on. Energy for the species, so it might be saying nuclear as in an energy war. It could be nuclear bombs, of course, and then but nuclear war, and it's here observing, trying to observe just because historical evidence was lost. So in 50 years, it said, in just over half a century from this point in time, the nuclear war, and we're at about that point. So an exact 50-year mark would be 2014. We're at 2025. It was 2024.
Self-care
so
has
just over
never
half a
been this
century.
easy.
Okay,
Gummy
so
vitamins from Nature Made.
it may not
The
know
number
the
one
exact
pharmacist recommended vitamin
what
and
a
supplement
nuclear
brand.
war means exactly. It's now observing and going, oh shit, they have fucking contaminated everything. Contaminated this and that, contaminated waters, contaminated Fukushima, fucking Chernobyl, whatever. So, it doesn't have to just be a nuclear bomb as far as war goes. It can be bombs that were contaminated with nuclear waste, radiation, and it says the nuclear war only kills off about a few million people, but the radiation left behind is what kills off most of the rest of the species. And like I said, with the bread being contaminated with radiation, that could be what it's talking about. It could be talking about radiation in the air. It could be talking about radiation in the oceans and in the waters. It could be talking about radiation from the sun. It just says radiation left behind. So we get radiation from a lot of things, not just uranium. The sun emits radiation. X-rays emit radiation. There's X-rays in airports. There's X-rays in dentist offices. There's x-rays in doctors' offices and hospitals. There's x-rays in the Nazi locations. Before you enter, you got to go through this x-ray thing. Everything that, I believe everything that we're putting through these x-ray machines at the airports, at the fucking Nazi locations, it's all getting radiated. So when you're holding your phone to your ear and they're saying, oh, the phone is causing you to have brain cancer. Why is it causing you to have brain cancer? Because you continue to put it through this device that is emitting radiation, and the radiation is intertwined with your fucking molecules here, or it's being put into little air gaps maybe in the phone, and now you're holding the fucking thing up to your mouth and ear. And so just to say, phones are creating cancer, phones have radiation. Why do they have radiation? Likely because you keep going to these locations with phone, letting phone be scanned, sitting in the doctor's office, the dentist's office with phone, and it's all being hit with radiation constantly, and then you hold that thing up to your ear as opposed to say, you know, my bong's not emitting radiation. Why? Because I don't bring bong to airport. I don't have bong scanned at fucking Nazi location. I don't have bong at fucking doctor's office or dentist's office. So my bong, even though it's with me a lot and around my phone a lot and around the Wi-Fi, my bong is not emitting radiation. What's emitting radiation is the thing that keeps enduring X-ray radiation. That's literally how X-rays work. So, you guys, you're not really protecting yourself or the species with all these radiation spots. And it just said that radiation left behind. And as far as radiation goes, it's all a chance thing. So when there's a mutation that occurs and the mutation is beneficial to survival, then the mutation will continue to be a part of the species. But when a mutation occurs and it's not beneficial to survival, like a cancer tumor, those are the things that kill off this species, because that cancer tumor is going to block your lung from being able to breathe, or it's going to stop your heart from pumping, or it's going to clog an artery, whatever. So radiation is a compilation of enduring radiation. Cancer is a compilation of enduring radiation. So what that means is similar to throwing dice on the craps table. Every time you endure radiation, you're risking that your cell is going to die off, and whenever your cell dies off, you're now risking the chance of it replicating into a mutated form of itself. And that mutated form of itself is called cancer. So, enduring more radiation, it may be that all the radiation being endured on top of enduring nuclear radiation is what is the ultimate cause of extinction for the species, because say that we endure the radiation, without enduring the rest of the radiation, chances of survival are probably going to be higher, as opposed to continuing to roll the dice and risk, okay, well, I got x-ray at the dentist, the doctors, the airport, the Nazi location, now I'm going to eat radiated bread or radiated tuna or salmon or whatever, so salt water, I believe, sea salt has radiation in it, I believe. And I would just keep all that in mind. But like I said, as far as nuclear war goes and radiation being what causes the rest of the species or most of the species to die off, a lot is being said with that. That's not necessarily vibrating, not being conveyed through the air vibrations speaking. So it's saying one thing, it's on its deathbed, and I'm sure it could have more say if it were in better health situations or better health as a being existing. I'm not sure what they were feeding it or if they weren't feeding it at all. If the food is adequate for its energy needs and everything regarding that. So I don't know what they eat on their planet. If they consume sunlight, maybe like a plant. But it did appear like the being had more that it could share, is just being cut off sometimes, questioned in specific ways. You don't really want to, it didn't really want to reveal stuff, but is being forced to reveal it. So it's probably going to have limited revelations when you're using that technique of extracting information from the being or gaining information. So I would say that the being likely had more to say and would have said more if it was not being currently tortured. If it wasn't being currently tortured and if it was in better health conditions and maybe a more adequate interviewer, then, but we're stuck with what occurred. So we have to do this little guessing game here and speak how it speaks. Remember when it says, is it alive right now? And the being says yes. Remember what I said, and the being I think says this: everything that has existed currently exists. Everything that will exist is currently in existence. So that's how infinity works. Things that are going to occur in the future are currently existing, because that's just how infinity works. And so when that being says there's the person is already alive, the human male is already alive, they could be talking in their natural alien form, which is, and like I said, he says multiple times, you're not capable of accepting or comprehending. And I think that's one of those things, the way the alien speaks, an unintentional, it's speaking properly as far as how I speak. But for them, if they want to speak improperly, I guess that's on them, or, do this guessing game as to what the alien is trying to convey. So, and then I also was thinking about Bob Lazar, because one of the voices kind of sounds like him. He knows about how there was a security person that entered a room with an alien and the gun went off, and they're saying, that was the story that he heard, and he heard other stuff. I'm thinking some of the stuff that he's telling you is half truth, and I think the whole, I'm just questioning, it may be as much truth as he can share, but I'm just saying he might not have all the information. And then also when it comes to his wife, and that being the whole factor of, this and that, he was upset with them for this and that, and then he showed his friends all this stuff. That might all be bullshit. Maybe it's all real, and that's also just part of the half-truth thing, but he might have got fired from the location because he killed the interviewer that was forcing him to torture an alien and saved this alien. And then he got in trouble from the higher up saying, do you have any idea what we're going to do to you now? Something like that they said to him. But you know what? They go ahead and fucking mind their own fucking inquietude at this point. We don't need them. Bob Lazar is smart enough. We can figure things out without them. I know the location is dope and all the things that are dope, but I think that we can do without a location at this moment and communicate with the beings, and we don't really need the craft at the moment, at this moment anyways, either. So and there's probably ways to create our own without having to be located at some fucking place where the beings are threatening someone's life like that, or torturing aliens, or forcing someone to work. I don't know. So, maybe they'll change their ways in the future. Hopefully they do, but I really wouldn't piss off the alien species if they're that to that level of intelligence, or our descendants, any species, any of the ones I mentioned, the shadow people, the ghosts, the light beings, the reptilians, the greys, the combinations, the Arcturians, Anunnakis, the tall whites, all those fucking Arcturians, I think they were called, I can't remember. But they seem to know a lot, and I would say that all these, either way, even if Bob Lazar is telling 100% the truth, his events are matching up, are correlating with that alien interview timeline. The gun going off, being in a room, maybe he was told a half truth about the story about, entering the room, a room with the alien with the gun. But the storylines seem to all be matching up, and the same exact fucking thing happened with his Element 115. He was talking about Element 115 apparently before it was on the periodic table. Then years later it became on the periodic table. So his whole fucking timeline just seems to be matching up precisely with what's being revealed and what's being discovered. So I guess I wouldn't really question anything. Whatever he's saying is what I take for truth. I don't know if he's forgotten his past or his history. There's also that aspect. Or if, I don't know. But the voice does sound like Bob Lazar's. Or maybe he's the one that made the, he might be the one that made the video. But they're saying the video's unedited. So then again, I would say maybe he didn't make the video. Maybe he's a part of the video. Maybe he knows someone a part of the video. I don't know how people spoke back then just because they sound like Bob Lazar. He was on the news all the time and stuff. So maybe more people sounded kind of like Bob Lazar back then and things like that. But yeah, man. I mean, now we have it on my fucking channel. And I intend to keep it on there. So anyone that has an issue with that, these fucking men in black motherfuckers, whoever you are, aliens that are saying not to talk about them, you need to realize who the fuck you're talking to and who the fuck you're threatening. I'm not some fucking simp. I'm highly intelligent, far more intelligent than I would assume any of you are. And it would probably be one of those moments where it's safe to assume. And I'm not someone to be fucking threatening, so. Are you sad? No, I'm not sad. I'm fucking, I don't know what I am. I don't feel anything anymore. A lot of the times I just don't fucking feel anything. Also, hi back to you. So, no, I wouldn't say I'm sad. I wouldn't say I'm happy either. I wouldn't say I'm pissed off. I wouldn't say I'm livid. And I wouldn't say I'm fearful or enduring any sort of something like that. I guess I am doing something that's kind of brave, but I'm also, I'm not feeling like, oh, I feel so brave right now. I just know, based on what I'm doing and based on what others have endured, that what I'm sharing is requiring bravery to share, especially with me being, like I said, they're hunting geniuses. They don't like intelligence. That's just how Nazis are. They see it as a threat. Knowledge is power, and they greed power. Time is money, and they greed that imagination form of money. So they want to thieve time. They want to thieve knowledge. They want to thieve freedom. They greed the fucking power. And any revelations as far as my knowledge. I mean, maybe at this point they're finally realizing, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be threatening this guy, but you never know. Maybe they're still too dumb to fucking realize that I'm not someone to be fucking threatening, which is entirely possible. So let me hit a couple more things here, and then I'm gonna end the stream, sit down and watch some Star Wars. But I just, like I said, I felt like the beings going by were fucking like either a sign from the universe, a sign from beams, or maybe the beings themselves that I need to continue discussing a little bit more and a little bit more, because there's a lot going on right now and there's only so much time to be hitting the topics that are required. We're in more of a we have less time than I'm imagining, is what I think they're saying. You need to get to speaking, because things are moving forward regardless. And that goes for everybody. I think everyone should start speaking more, because things are going to be moving forward regardless. So share the fucking information now. Otherwise, you might not have the opportunity to share it. And just like that being, if that being were to die, were to have died on them, we wouldn't have known the information that's shared. And I think everyone has information that can be shared, knowledge about their past, just their existence is history and historical. So they should, if you don't have anything to talk about the parts of your life that you remember, things that you wish wish were changed, and I even think wishing is knowledge. Everyone wishes different stuff, so wishing is knowledge, history is knowledge, construction is knowledge, storytelling is knowledge, your ability, maybe the story that you're sharing you're not that into, but your ability to share is teaching others how to share maybe things that are not that interesting. So it's all knowledge, and I think it's all important. Everyone has something to share, and we should get to speaking more. Otherwise, the knowledge is lost forever. We're gonna have to somehow figure out how to time travel just to refigure out historical evidence that's been lost. So skip that step. Time travel is not. I'm not currently in a craft that's time traveling, so I would just prefer to skip that step and go, hey, why don't you just vibrate the air? Do your body language thing, whatever. Write it down and share some information with the planet. It feels like I've been talking all day. I can't believe I'm still talking. We're already at 73 minutes. What else is there to share before I head out? Let me smoke some weed, and maybe that will trigger a thought in my mind. But to answer your question, no, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sad. And I don't necessarily feel emotions in that way anyway, so I don't really know what to say about that. I more think things through logically, and I think I do that. I do get sad still, but it's more just like I can just tell that I'm down right now, or I'm feeling like slower, I'm more tired, and things like that will indicate to me that I'm sad, but I don't go, oh, I'm just like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel like I'm gonna be crying or anything like that. Most of the time I only cry if I'm enduring a mass amount of sorrow at one time. So it has to be something pretty sad that's revealed, because I'm used to seeing a lot of stuff and hearing a lot of stuff. But sometimes when everything's all at once, then there might be one teardrop that drops from one of my eyes, but it's usually not both. And it's usually only one teardrop, which I wipe away and move forward. Be right back. Nothing. Oh, that was the other thing it said. Nothing by definition is not existing, because nothing is by definition nothing. So darkness, what I'm enduring right now is darkness. I believe darkness, I don't know, I might be fucking tweaking on this idea, but why is it so hard for light to travel through darkness? Like when you turn on a light or a flashlight, it only goes so far. It's like, I thought this photon thing was supposed to be traveling for light years, and here this fucking photon thing is only going, what, 10 feet out? 50 feet out sometimes? And it's not lighting up a whole fucking area. It's just one little beam sometimes. So I really do think that darkness might not be, I don't know, and this is just a theory, but the darkness in space could potentially be what they're calling dark energy, dark matter. And just like a photon being, it's not actually a particle, it's just a wave, a frequency or whatever. Darkness, I believe, is a frequency, a wave, and an equal and opposite frequency and wave to the photon. Another form of photon, actually. It is a dark photon. So the reason why light gets drowned out in darkness is because there's another photon that's competing against that thing for it to be traveling through, for it to be, so it only can travel so far, 10 feet, 50 feet, and then the dark energy, the dark matter, whatever you want to call it, is stopping the photon from traveling light years and light years and light years. Because they're all saying it's supposed to be light years, and here we are fucking, I mean, I can look at various lights and it's not light out, it's dark out. So why is that photon remaining in this location? Why is it not lighting up the whole fucking area? And I think that's because it's competing against the dark energy, the dark matter, whatever. There's also something called antimatter. So all the things that exist currently, all the atoms and everything, there's an equal and opposite atom called antimatter. So there's antimatter, I think it's like antimatter carbon, for each element. Antimatter everything. And if it comes into contact with, if antimatter comes into contact with regular matter, it results in a immediate explosion. So some people are saying antimatter can be used to as energy. Antimatter can be used as energy to power crafts and things, but how do you store something that is, right when it touches regular matter, it's blowing up? And that includes when it touches an oxygen molecule, when it touches a steel molecule, when it touches glass molecule. Anything it touches, it blows up immediately out of existence. So how could you possibly power something if right when it's touching it, it's gonna blow it up or whatever? So I don't know. Maybe there's a way, and how do you bring it into existence without it blowing up if there's atoms everywhere? You'd have to have a vacuum chamber and all this stuff, not one single fucking molecule in it. It'd have to probably be spinning around and not be touching the glass. And I know that's probably possible, not for me, but it can't be touching anything. Otherwise, once it touches something, it blows up. Anything that blows up can be used, can be harnessed into using energy or harness into energy for movement. And they're saying antimatter might be powering the crafts. I don't know how true that is. I think it's electromagnetism. I don't know what's being used, if it's nuclear or whatever, but how do you power the electromagnetism? How do you power electromagnetism? Could be the aliens might be using antimatter. I don't know. I think I was following this being for a while, but now I'm not going to follow because I think I saw I was getting Bethlehem vibes from them. The end. Yep, it just ended. So she's done. And we're going to get off that and go to YouTube. I'm going to take a hit and then I'm going to end this stream. Cause there's no one in this world like Emily. Meet the Fockers. No, Meet the Parents. First it was Meet the Parents and then it was Meet the Fockers. And then I think they have Baby Focker after that or something like that. I like the part when he's talking with him. Slowly throughout the movie you find more and more out about this guy. So your name is Gay Focker. And then later on they find out his middle name is Lord. Your name is Gaylord Focker? He fucking starts up a fire with a cigarette. When he's trying to get this dude's cat off the fucking roof. So your name is Gaylord Focker? Oh, there goes the electrical. All right. You know what House episode really fucking pissed me off? House, he has these two other colleagues, Cuddy and Wilson, who he bounces ideas off of, asks for permission to do things, and just kind of kicks it with. Well, on one episode, there's this dude that can't walk. He's bound to a wheelchair. He can't walk, and they're trying to discover something. House does all this stuff, does this and that, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember the whole fucking episode, but at the end of the episode, they fucking go, he goes, I discovered what's happening to this guy. He needs this and that injected into him, and he's going to be able to walk if you inject this thing into him. And they said, bullshit, it's not possible to make someone who's a handicap, someone who can't walk, it's not possible to make this person walk. He's saying, yes, it is. You got to inject this fucking thing into him. Otherwise, he's going to stay crippled. He's going to stay in his wheelchair. Well, they end up denying his request, saying, no, you can't do that. We're not going to do any sort of experimental thing. He's all down about it, And then at the end, Cuddy takes it upon herself to go, you know what, let me just go over to this guy. before he leaves, he's at the hospital, he's being wheeled out. She goes, let me just inject him with what House said to do. She injects him with it, and moments later, he stands up. Well, then she has a discussion with Wilson. His buddy, and herself, and they go, you know what? We're just not going to tell House that he saved this person's life, that he turned a cripple into a walking being. And they try to play it off as like, well, we're going to keep it from him because he can't always be right. He needs to know that he can't always be right. And he needs to know that, you know, this and that. They came up with all these excuses. When you have to come up with an excuse to justify your actions, what you're doing is wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. And so they came up with all these excuses as to why they shouldn't tell House that he turned a handicapped man in a wheelchair into a walking being again. And they kept it from him. I can't remember the full fucking thing. I just remember that whole fucking episode pissed me off. And if you're someone out there that is not telling someone that their discoveries are in fact fucking saving lives, or you know, all this and that, and you're using these excuses as like, well, we want to make sure his mental health and he can't always be right, fuck you. I'd like to say that to everybody, fuck you. Anyone out there that's simping for the Nazism, simping for the Nazis, spying on someone, letting them tap into my phone, or you're going on your fucking live stream just to have me fucking post something crazy in your comments, fuck you. And fuck your, whoever the fuck you're fucking related to, whoever the fuck you're loving. It's a big fuck you to all you guys. And you're all gonna fucking realize sooner or later, hopefully these 3 videos should help you realize you fucked with the wrong motherfucker. You need to stop fucking threatening me. You need to stop questioning me. And what you need to do is start focusing on fun, focus on yourself, focus on your own fucking inquietude. Because you never know. I always like to tell people, you should be treating every single day as if it's Valentine's Day. Because you never know when your loved one is going to endure their final breath. What the final conversation is that you're going to have with your loved one. What the final word you're going to exchange with your loved one. So everyone should be treating every single day as if it's Valentine's Day. And I'm sure you'll end up finding love and living fun. But beings are rare. Beings are far more rare than the elements spread out across the universe. You aren't going to see a supernova just launching out a bunch of human mammal. You're going to see it launching out the various elements on the periodic table. And so human mammal existence is far more rare than any element on any of those, on any periodic table, and far more rare just throughout the universe. So as far as I'm concerned, you have to be born on this planet and a part of this species in order to be considered human mammal. So someone born on another planet, maybe once we habitat that planet, Mars potentially, the moon, then at that point other mammals, other beings that are born maybe on that planet can be a part of human mammal. But at the moment, the only, I would say, the rules to being human mammal, to identify as a species, you have to be born on this planet and you have to be a part of the human mammal species. Otherwise, you're going to be considered another species or an alien species. So, yeah, like I said, don't get to fucking with me. Don't get to trolling me. Don't get to keeping secrets from me or try to tell me that what I'm sharing is invalid or not helping anyone. I'm well aware of the fact, and I'm sure House is well aware of the fact that he healed the being without them telling him. He just didn't know that the being was injected with whatever he told her to inject it with. He knows it's gonna work, and it's the exact same fucking thing for me, and there's no hiding information from me. As far as the collective conscious goes, and with all the information being shared on the internet, with the potential of the internet being alive, already currently thinking as a artificial intelligence, I would say there's no possible way to be that fucking Munchausen fam thieving me of my fucking inventions or thieving me of truths. One way or another, and I think House does figure it out. One way or another, the universe has its ways of revealing all truths, and one way or another, the truths will present themselves when the universe is ready for them to be revealed. So I believe that even if you try to keep things secret from me, it's gonna be exactly like that fucking House episode, and I'm gonna fucking realize it. I'd prefer to skip that whole step of enduring a lie or enduring a half truth, enduring hidden truths, just truths that are not being revealed. Let's skip all that and just be honest with one another. Let's make sure that we're being honest with our followers, with our fans. Let's make sure we're being honest on our platforms and on our channels. And guess what? We're all gonna start living a lot more fucking fun just by being truthful, sharing truth. With that being said, I'm gonna hit my vape, and then end the live.
Soldier Field.
The Unity rally?
Get what you need from Barbosa.
Soldier Field is miles from the close zone. How's that get us back inside?
I'm trusting you.
It's 10:27. Fuck. I guess that was a big hit. It's a little dark here, so it's hard to tell. I like to look at how white the pipe gets, and that tells me how big the hit is. So when it's dark, I usually have to take smaller hits, and otherwise that's gonna happen. I just kind of have to guess. So I take smaller hits, and that way I don't have to be guessing game. All right. I think I said I was gonna hit my vape. This is Captive State, by the way. I'll have some more specifics regarding the whales. I'm not seeing much in the sky, but I want to do some more research into the whales. I want to watch Star Wars. I'm not that tired, so I really want to get Star Wars going, and I want to do research on my phone, listen to music. Gonna be doing that all at the same time. And I would like to pay attention to Star Wars, but the ones that I'm starting on, I'm gonna start on I think The Force Awakens, the 2015 one. So uh, that I can, just so I can remember where I was at with the movie series. And then once I finish it, I would like to go through and watch it again. Then after I finish it that time, I would like to go through and watch it in the what they're calling chronological order, which I thought release order was chronological order, but release order is I'm thinking chronological as in time, but they're talking chronological as in the time of the movie, not the time of release. So I was calling it something. It's called release order, and then there's chronological order. So I'll do that one on my third watch through. I'm still getting through my first watch through, and I want to see what Baby Yoda is all about. Get all caught up with that, and then I want to watch it again, and then I want to watch it again. So it's gonna be some time, and I want to actually watch it. But the ones that I've already watched, I got a pretty good like understanding of what they're about. So I'll kind of probably do like a little bit of research during those ones and try to watch it the best I can on my TV. And then I should be pretty much done with catching up with everybody as far as movies go. After that, I really only have like Civil War, some Saw movies, some superhero movies to watch through, and I feel like I should be pretty much caught up. But I do all the movies that I hit, Disney movies that I hit, the animation and real life ones. I want to get to watching all those one more time minimum. And there's no Mary Poppins where it's Mary Poppins Returns. So I want to see what that's all about too. It looks pretty interesting. I really like the Mary Poppins movie, the first one. It's pretty long too. I was pretty like interesting to see. But Sound of Music is another one I want to watch. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out the past one step at a time, and figuring out what the past was saying to us, what the past was living like, what they were enduring, which appears to me to be theft of freedom. And when I come to my conclusions, I'll share it with everybody. I'll share my theories, continue sharing everything, continue bouncing ideas off. But until then, I'm checking out. We just hit another fucking 98 minutes. So, everybody, peace the fuck out for now. Peace the fuck out.
You think I'm not?